Hello world! I'm coming at you live from the end of a long weekend in Canada. That's right, here in Canada, Thanksgiving isn't in November, it's at the beginning of October. Why? Because it's so cold up here, all of our crops would die before Thanksgiving. This week was midterms. After I told you about my biology midterm last log, I had a calculus midterm and a chemistry midterm. Calculus midterm went super duper well. I studied a little less than I should have for the chemistry midterm, I'll admit that. There was one question that was like, calculate the average kinetic energy of a particle of carbon dioxide on Venus. And it gave me all of these givens, and I was like, how do I do that? I have no idea. So I looked on the formula sheet that was given me. It had a little formula that was like E subscript K, and I was like, awesome, kinetic energy. And it had two variables that I'd never seen before in my life in it, which was awesome. So I was searching for these variables somewhere else on the formula sheet. I was like, where am I going to find a U? And I eventually found it, folks. Root mean square speed. Yes! So I survived my chemistry midterm, survived my calculus midterm. I did say these videos were contingent on me surviving the next week of school, and I have, so videos for you guys. It was also raining really hard. When I went into my chemistry midterm, it was pouring. But there were a bunch of people in the room that hadn't come out of the room for like 3 hours and didn't know it was pouring rain and thundering. So I ran from one building to my chemistry midterm. Fun fact about people who live in the city. Y'all might know this because you might have lived in cities, but people who live in the city don't go inside when there's thunderstorms. I know, but what if you get struck by lightning? Ha ha ha! Buildings are grounded, so you're not going to get struck by lightning in the city. But you might in the country. Now, some people would argue that I don't live in the country. I kind of live on the edge of the suburbs in the country. But I like to put it this way. One time, I was at my cousin's house. We were all sitting on the back porch and eating popsicles at the end of the summer, and all of a sudden we hear an explosion. So we turn around and there's this big mushroom cloud just billowing up in the distance. And we were like, what's that? Turns out someone had a meth lab in their barn, and it exploded. I got caught in the rain on my way to the chemistry midterm, and I arrived, and I was like, hello, I'm here to write my midterm. You're really wet. Yes. Yeah, it's raining. Yeah. Alright. Midterms happily out of the way, I can focus on other things I like to do, like making videos for you guys, sleeping and eating, and writing in my journal. Now today I have a special treat for you. I have 3 of my old journals which I'm going to read to you from. Now I've kept journals on and off since about 2005. I don't necessarily keep them consistently. But I do have records of 3 to 4 month chunks of my life dating back to when I was about 7. And some of them are pretty funny. So I've got 3 I'm going to read to you today. And we'll go in chronological order, starting from the Leaf Book. So the Leaf Book was first started Friday, December 17th, 2004. And the Leaf Book was a travel journal, so it doesn't have my everyday life in it, but it does have some fun parts, which I will read to you. Thursday, March 10th, 2005. It is just sunrise, and the sunrise is beautiful. In a regular day right now, we would be at daycare. There's not a single cloud in the sky, but there is still snow. We are very close to Bishop's Mills. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. We are going to Florida, but we are driving there, so it is going to be long. I just finished eating my snack. The people in the car with me are Mom, Dad, and Jordan. In half an hour we will cross the border. We just crossed a huge bridge and are at the border. There is a big long line. We just got across the bridge and are the USA. Apparently I am the United States of America. Thanks, tiny me. We just went over another humongous bridge. I have never drived to the United States before. We just saw 3 huge tin crows. It is after lunch. I had Wendy's for lunch. I see a helicopter. We are in the state of Pennsylvania. We just came down a mountain. There is no snow here, but up the next mountain there will be more. My ears were popping on the last mountain. There is green grass. I just saw 2 words in huge letters that said endless cavern. I'd say that these mountains are pretty endless. They're huge. So that is my leaf book. Not super coherent at all. I quite enjoy how I don't have any grasp of chronology in this book. Usually in diaries you write like, later, 10 hours later, or like whatever you write. Here I'm just like, yeah, we just crossed the bridge to the United States. Suddenly, we are the United States. This dude here, the one that says, my diary on the front, is just a regular old diary. It says, I told you to keep out. Which, apparently I did. Seriously, it isn't funny. Okay, but I'm not responsible for any bad stuff said about you because I told you not to read this. I was like super duper nervous that someone would read my angsty grade 5 diary. Alright, starts Tuesday, May 13th, 2008. Thursday, June 5th, 2008. Wonderful field trip today. La 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 la. The teachers herded us to the right spot and told us what to bring. Finally, we were off. After the long ride to the university, we gathered in a big building. The instructors told us what group we were in. Then we split up and headed off to our first sport, basketball. So, I think I'm on a field trip to university to play sports. Blah, blah, blah. Then the long-awaited highlight of the day, fencing. We walked into a dimly lit room with stone walls. The equipment was lying in neat piles on either side of the room. After a brief explanation, we got ready. Then it was, salute, en garde, allez. I felt just like a pirate and did very well, beating all of these people. Then there's a list of all the people. Great. Then it was off to lunch. It was a long walk to the cafeteria, but when we got there, it was worth it. Delicious smells filled the air as we got our food. I ate a hamburger, fries, pasta, meatballs, all the filling of a sponge cake, and ice cream. Sounds like a fully balanced meal of the 4 food groups: hamburgers, pasta, all the filling of a sponge cake, and ice cream. After lunch, we played squash. Jordan, my twin, and I teamed up again. We hit the ball back and forth 3 times. Success. Then it says a person's name, first name, last name, and in brackets after it, enemy. I don't know what this person did to earn enemy status with 10-year-old me, but probably deserved it. This person wanted to be first, so she went to the front without a partner. Then the leader made her go to the back, making Jordan and I first. We were awesome. So that is my green spotty diary. And this dude. This guy's another run-of-the-mill diary. Starts December 27th, 2011. Monday, April 2nd, 2012. Today started off badly. I woke up at 3:30 a.m. I couldn't get back to sleep, so I went downstairs at 5:30. I saw there were some kind of animals in our trees. The sun was rising behind the trees, and all I could see were silhouettes. At first I saw the silhouette and thought, what a fat squirrel. Then I thought, what's a gopher doing in a tree? Then, is that a beaver? Then, is that a cat? They were raccoons. Needless to say, I'm not the sharpest in the morning. It's also Easter weekend. Speaking of which, the cousins and us have... The cousins and us have established a new tradition, the post-Easter feaster smashing of the eggs. This comes after we disassembled a boiled egg last year and took out the solid yolk to see if it would bounce. We took the yolk out to the driveway. Here's a comic illustrating what happened. Now I can tell you what happened. We disassembled a cracked hard-boiled egg, and we're like, hey look, this yolk looks like a tiny bouncy ball. Let's bounce it. So my cousin Connor, who's very tall, very large, and occasionally a little bit clumsy, took the yolk. We were outside. We were all cheering him on. We were like, Connor, bounce it! And instead of gently, like, bloop, like gently dropping it, he just went, blat! Which, of course, if you know anything about boiled eggs, just flattened the egg into a patty of egg. It was gross. For some reason, we found the splatting yolk hilarious and we couldn't stop laughing. Later on, we played tag and Jordan sat on the yolk. We avoided them after that because they had the egg touch. Alright, folks, that's about it for the diaries for now. I do keep a journal today. It's a little less incoherent rambling and a little more personal, so I'm not going to share it with you just yet. Maybe someday. But I have to get on to shoutouts, sock status, and arbitrary statistics. Shoutouts. Shout out to Jordan for proposing during Thanksgiving dinner what turned out to be the best family photo ever. Sock status. Intense. And arbitrary statistics for the day. 44. The exponent I spent literally half an hour of my midterm chasing because I couldn't figure it out. 450. How much it costs to buy a jumbo hot dog from the hot dog man on campus. 13. The number of full journals that I have on my bookshelf right now, full of undiscovered comedy gold like splatting an egg yolk and being the United States of America. That's about it for the day. Closing Captain's Log. Signing off. Until next time, I am yours in wonder.